I started out years ago working at General Motors, and if you're familiar with the OnStar system at General Motors, I was one of the technology guys that helped put that in the cars. And then after that I went to work for a mapping company, digital mapping company, that was then bought up by a company called TomTom. And TomTom is a big provider of GPS systems and stuff like that, but we did a lot of map work with Google and other folks. I used to do a lot of traveling. I spent quite a bit of time in Europe, and interestingly enough, one morning when I was over there, I was watching a rebroadcast of the Today Show.
2 years ago, Bill started an organization called Farm Rescue, dedicated not to giving money, but to physically helping farmers who've been sidelined by illness, injury, or in the case of the family that owns this farm outside Eureka, South Dakota, natural disaster.
And Bill and the folks from Farm Rescue, they were doing a big thing on Farm Rescue, and I thought, oh, that'd be pretty cool. I could do something like that. So I'm semi-retired now. I'm from Interlaken, New York. Interlaken, New York is in the Finger Lakes region, so it's upstate. Those of us that come from New York, we always consider the city as New York City, and the rest of it is upstate. So we live in upstate New York, and probably near Ithaca, where Cornell University is probably the biggest town nearby. One of the questions that I get frequently asked is, why do you go all the way to North Dakota to farm when you could farm right here in your own backyard? And the answer is, I think in large part due to the sponsors. I think that a lot of the sponsors out here have a very, very tight connection to the farming community out here in North Dakota. And whether it's the banks, or whether it's RDO from an equipment standpoint, or the Chevy dealers, I mean, there really is sort of this mutual dependency that all those folks have, and I think you know, it's been phenomenal what Bill has been able to assemble and put together. I mean, you figure just RDO alone probably gives us something on the order of, you know, probably close to $2 million of equipment every year, and you know, it looks like we're going to even get a third unit next year. So I mean, having that kind of support and that kind of sponsorship behind what you're doing makes the job both a lot easier as well as a whole lot more pleasant coming out here. And you know, I mean, it's always better when you've got the right tools to do the job and the right equipment to get the job done with. So I think the other thing that's real important is, you know, whether you're an RDO that can provide us, you know, with $1 million+ worth of equipment, or, you know, whether it's somebody just providing us tools, or, you know, gasoline for trucks, food. You know, the number of places that we've gone that people have just volunteered to you know, give us a free breakfast or something like that. I mean, it's all appreciated, and it really all contributes to not only the experience we have as volunteers, but even more importantly is you know, the experience that the farmers we're trying to help get out of their relationship with Farm Rescue. I've volunteered for you know, other organizations as well. I think the thing that makes this particularly rewarding is, number one, you're actually out helping somebody very specifically, and it's very tangible, it's very real, and it's very immediate. I mean, we'll be farming here for a couple of days, and you know, we'll leave having planted, you know, 500 to 1,000 acres probably. But all of my relatives have farms back in Northeast Iowa. So my grandparents were both of my grandfathers were farmers, and you know, I've still got an uncle that's got farm back there. So, you know, having a knowledge of farming and having a passion about farming, I think, is you know, is probably what motivates a lot of us. Actually, and one of my sons has shown some interest in coming out with me one of these years. So, yeah, I encourage anybody and everybody that's even remotely interested to, you know, give Farm Rescue a shot and see if they can use some help. Last year, I was out here for a couple weeks again. We actually started out west of Fargo and moved all the way up to Newburgh. I guess Newburgh was as far north and west as I got last year. But now we participated in the Jacques and the work we did at their place, and then Warren Miller and his place. Great people. Randy, Bill, and I were crewing last year together. Had a great time. Randy was out again this year. In fact, he just left yesterday, and I brought his dad with him. And the three of us have been farming up north most of the end of last week. So, you know, it's great to get caught up with people and see them from year to year. Dave Setty's the other one from Wisconsin, and you know, you get to know the guys, and you get to participate. So you got folks that come a long ways, but then you've also got, you know, folks like Charlie and Bill and Clarence and those guys around that are more local and are just very, very consistent year to year, and you know, sort of get all of us that come from a long way away back up to speed when we show up and get us up and running. I like coming out here. It's good people and good times.